Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Daniela and we are here to discuss books. So straight after Christmas, Waterstones had an offer on in-store only from the 26th to the 28th of December, and it was 50% off all hardbacks in-store. If you've been into Waterstones, you'll know that they don't often have a lot of hardbacks in-store, from what I've seen anyway, and they tend to have different stock at different shops. So me and Andy put on our trainers and off we went, and we went to, I think, 3 different Waterstones, possibly 4. I think we struck out on 2 of them. We didn't find anything. I also ordered a couple online. They had some stuff that was on sale online. So I'll show you what I got online and then I'll show you what I got in the shop. The first book I picked up online was Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. I'm going to be reading The House in the Cerulean Sea in January. I wanted to own this one because reading the synopsis, this one sounds more up my street based on what I've been reading recently. I know this one isn't as loved as The House in the Cerulean Sea, but this one, I don't know, I've got a feeling that this is something that I'm going to gel with. And this cost me, I think it was £8.50, so can't go wrong at that price. Next up, I managed to pick up a signed edition of Aurora's End, and again, it was half price, so I'm expecting I probably paid around £8.50 for this one also. I haven't read the first 2. I don't own the first 2. I just thought for half price signed copy, I'll pick it up, and then hopefully I can find the first 2 somewhere. Next up, we picked up a hardback copy of Dune by Frank Herbert. Andy has read this. I have not yet read this. I'm waiting for the audiobook to come up through my library, but we bought a physical copy because Andy wanted a physical copy. The paperbacks have got that annoying sticker on at the moment because of the film, so we got a nice hardback copy of Dune, and I really like the spine on this one. It's got a quote from the book on it, and also the end pages in this have like this really nice artwork, and that's the back. Now we're on to the books that I picked up in store. The next one I'm going to show you, I picked them all up in the same store. I think it was the Bradford Waterstones. So this one I'm very happy with. I managed to find a copy of Our Violent Delights. I probably wouldn't have picked this up if it weren't for the fact that it is the Waterstones Sprayed Edge edition, and it has a signed bookplate in there. So I have the first one on Kindle already, which I didn't realise until I got home. So I've got both, which means I can read both, because I kind of picked this up and thought, oh, I'm not going to be able to read it because I don't have the first one. And then I checked my Kindle list, and I have already bought that. I normally buy stuff when it's 99p on Kindle. So I have both, and I'm really excited to read this. It had a little bit of damage on the back, like some dents and some marks, but it was the only sprayed edge copy. It was hidden behind another one, and I found it. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. Our Violent Ends is the second in a duology. It starts with These Violent Delights, and it's a Romeo and Juliet retelling. I've heard a lot of good things about that duology, so I'm looking forward to that. Next up, I picked up Absinthe. This is I think it's a sci-fi fantasy, and it was one of the Goldsboro picks in the GSFF, I believe. And it has nice foiling on the front with Absinthe. It has the matching cover on the back that isn't foiled. And this one I also managed to find a signed copy. Again, I think it was the only signed copy in there. So signed first edition. Super happy with that. So Absinthe is about absinthe. So people can drink absinthe, but apparently it has like different effects on different people. It does different things to them. It can like kill them, it can make them ill, it could give them like, I think maybe there's some positive outcomes that can come from drinking it. But this follows a particular man who drinks absinthe, and it basically takes away this veil for him. So the way that everyone else is seeing the world and seeing the government and seeing how things are run, they're not seeing the real picture. And when he drinks it, the veil is removed and he can see things for how they are. That's all I know about it. I don't know anything else about it. It's based in Chicago in 1928. The last time I picked up in that store, I wasn't planning on picking this up at all. I mean, I wasn't planning on picking any of those up. I was just browsing. Don't go to Waterstones and browse. Anyway, I just saw this on the shelves. I kept looking at it. Every time I walked past it, I was looking at it. It was catching my eye. And eventually I walked over and I decided to read like the first page. I like to do that if I'm not sure about a book. I like to read the first page, see kind of how the author writes, whether I like the writing style. And if I read the first page and it can grab me in the first page, it's got me. So I read the first page of Ariadne. This is the Waterstones exclusive edition with the cream cover and the gold foiling, and it is so beautiful. This is a Greek myth retelling. As princess of Crete and daughters of the fearsome King Minos, Ariadne and her sister Phaedra grow up hearing the terrible bellows of the Minotaur from the labyrinth beneath the palace. The Minotaur, Minos' greatest shame and Ariadne's brother, demands blood every year. When Theseus, Prince of Athens, arrives in Crete as a sacrifice to the beast, Ariadne falls in love with him. But helping Theseus defeat the monster means betraying her family, and Ariadne knows that in a world ruled by mercurial gods, drawing their attention can cost you everything. Ariadne has heard too many tales of women being punished for the acts of men. She is determined to set her own fate, but will her decision to help Theseus ensure her happy ending, or will she find herself sacrificed for her lover's ambition? It has these gorgeous end pages, and the spine's stunning. Next book I picked up, the last book I picked up in the Bradford Waterstones, is Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. This one I got just the plain. There was two versions. There was one that had the dust cover on, and then there was just this one with the normal hardback. And I was going to get the dust cover version, but then I noticed the gold foil and it got me with the gold foil. So, picked this version up. So, I'll just read you the inside of this because I really don't know that much about it. So it says, from her place in the star, Clara, an artificial friend with outstanding observational qualities, watches carefully the behaviour of those who come in to browse, and of those who pass in the street outside. She remains hopeful a customer will soon choose her, but when the possibility emerges that her circumstances may change forever, Clara is warned not to invest too much in the promises of humans. In Clara and the Sun, Kazuo Ishiguro looks at our rapidly changing world through the eyes of an unforgettable narrator to explore a fundamental question. What does it mean to love? I just like the sound of it. Next up we went to the Huddersfield Waterstones and I picked up a variety of books. I can't tell you what order I picked them up in, but I found a signed copy of Endgame. I'd seen this in a few of the other Waterstones and I hadn't bothered picking it up because they were all really damaged. I mean, this one is still damaged, but it was the least damage. I thought it was the least damage out of the lot. A couple of the pages got some tiny tears in. But yeah, I got a signed copy. I have the first 4 books. This is book number 6. This is the final book. I need book number 5. But I think I can pick that up new if I can't find it in any charity shops. Kind of annoyed at this book because the back of this book, I don't know why I did it. I read the back of the book. Why would I do that? It's kind of probably potentially ruined the whole series for me. Possibly. Because there's a huge spoiler on the back of this book. Why did they do that? Why did they put spoilers on the back of books? Just refer to the old books and mention it's a series without ruining it. I bought it anyway. I'm going to read it anyway. I just worried that this is going to ruin my experience. Hopefully it won't. Hopefully there's a lot more to it. Hopefully it's not going to ruin my experience. But yeah, huge spoiler. Massive spoiler. Not good. Note to all authors and publishing houses. Don't put major spoilers on the back of your final book. Please. Next up, I found the last book in a series. Don't have any of the other books, so I need to look out for them. It is signed by the author, and it is A Sky Beyond the Storm by Saba Tahir. This is the final book in a quadrilogy, and I got the special edition Waterstones. So this was the only one on the shelf. Again, somehow I need to get the rest of these books so that I can read this one. But I'm happy that I found it. Next up, Andy has read Frankenstein and Dracula, and he really wanted a physical copy of them. I really want to read Frankenstein. I wanted to read Dracula, but I've kind of been put off it a bit because of the formatting. I want to read this, I'm going to read this, but we managed to pick up a copy of Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. This is the Waterstones leather-bound edition. It's not real leather, it is faux leather, but the cloth bounds, I'm not a fan of the cloth bounds. Like, I feel like they get dirty really easy. I know that the foiling rubs off. Hopefully that won't be the case with this as well. But it's a lovely green colour, silver foiling on, and it has a quote on the back and on the front, and I just think it's a really nice addition. And there was one of these in the shop, just the one. We went to 4 different shops. This is the first time we've seen it in a shop, and so I couldn't resist. We managed to pick this up. They're normally £20, we got it for £10. Super happy with that, super happy. So looking forward to reading that also. Next up, we picked up Iron Widow by Ziran J. Zhao. This book, I was in two minds of to get it or not. Eventually I was swayed and I decided to go for it. The cover is beautiful. The artwork is gorgeous. So the thing that was putting me off of this book is it has mechs. So like giant robots that are controlled by humans, and that's what was putting me off this book. That's not my thing. I'm not into it. Like I've avoided this book purely for that reason. But then I heard someone talking about it, and they were talking about how it pulls a lot from Chinese culture, and they were talking about like how historically they used to force women to wear tiny shoes because apparently small feet was attractive, so they used to force women into tiny shoes like their whole life so that their feet would basically not grow and their feet would stay small. And so it's got like stuff like that in it. I just thought that was really interesting, and I haven't heard that before. I don't like know a lot about like the historical culture, and that is what made me actually want to read this book. So that's what caught my ear with this book, and that is why I picked it up. Still not sure on the whole mech situation, but we'll see how we go. Next up, I have been collecting the Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard. Haven't read it yet, and I know she's got a new series that's like ongoing at the moment, and I saw the second book that's due to come out, which I think is called Blade Breaker. I've pre-ordered the signed Waterstones edition of that because it has a very nice sprayed edge, but I don't own the first book, but I do now because I found a copy of it in Waterstones, half price, so pick that up just because I need the first one if I'm going to read the rest of them. And yeah, it's just plain red, it's not a special edition or anything. I just needed the first book because I've pre-ordered the second and I'm probably going to buy the third, so yeah, I thought I'll collect this series, and I'm very happy that I found that. Again, it was the only one that was there. And last of all, the last book I picked up in the Huddersfield Waterstones was a copy of Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo, which I believe is a continuation of the Shadow and Bone series. I watched the series on Netflix of Shadow and Bone, and it made me want to read the books. Now normally I don't like reading the book if I've seen like the film or the TV programme, but I kept seeing people talk about the Darkling in a way that made me think that there is more to the story than what we saw in the series, because in the series it was kind of like, why are they kind of like in a relationship, like there's no build up there, like what's going on? I feel like there's more to it, so I want to read the books. Half price, I thought I'd get this. I really like the textured embossed cover on this. Also, it's just a standard edition, but it's so lovely. The foiling on the front and the spines are so nice. And this is book 2. It's a duology. So I went for a little snoop online and I managed to pick up King of Scars, which is the first book. And again, same situation. It has very nice foiled edge and foiled front. So I just wanted copies of these because the books themselves, like the hardbacks, are very, very nice. Hopefully I'm going to enjoy the series. I know some people haven't liked the continuation, but then others have, so we'll see how I get on. What do you think about my picks, guys? Are there any of these books that you want to read? Are they books you've already read? Did you enjoy them? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you next time.